What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. It's NBA Talk with Jay. We're here back with some team previews as always, man. Brought to you guys by Wager Talk. We have our guy Rob Vino at Rob Vino Sports on Twitter, at Ski Profit as well, man. Two Wager Talk experts over here. What's up with you, Rob? Everything cool with you?
Yeah, everything's good, Jay. Start to a new week, right? And as usual, a lot of football to look at, but we are covering the NBA as well, and some NBA preseason going on right now. I happened to take a quick look last night at some of the Lakers Sacramento late game last night. I don't know how trustworthy all these results are, but at least we're getting a look at some players.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't take too much in the preseason. You got a lot of young guys playing. There's a lot to say, but it's just one preseason game, Ski. No real need to overreact, my brother. How you doing over there?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I've seen enough. I wanted to wake up and see some trade news this morning, but I'm doing all right. NFL, what was it, yesterday? I think we had a winner on Monday night with the 49ers, and so that puts us at a little bit above 60% on the season. And keep grinding out these NBA win totals and futures winners with you guys. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Let's get straight into it. It's definitely a good day. It's definitely a good weekend in NFL, guys. If you're here for the NBA shows, make sure you check out those NFL shows as well. Be on here tomorrow with Steve Merrill as well. So all week, talking NFL, talking college football, talking NBA team previews as well, my guys. Let's get straight into it. The first one up we're gonna do here. We're to the Detroit Pistons now, guys. So their win total is around sitting at 29, guys. A lot going on with the Pistons. They did get Bojan Bogdanovic over there from the Utah Jazz while they were doing their fire sale. Also added additions with Nerlens Noel and Alec Burks as well, guys, along with Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren. Some really good picks over there. Obviously, they went 28 and 54 last year, Ski. Basically with their win total right at the same thing, 28.5, 29. How you looking at this one?
Honestly, this has probably been the toughest win total out of all of them for me. So hopefully we can talk it out and come to a conclusion. But I saw 28.5, and they won 23 games last year. You take away Grant and you just look at the Eastern Conference as a whole, you see everybody getting better. But I look at Ivy and Cunningham, I like both of those guys. I feel like it's not going to be one of those teams that's tanking. And Casey, I feel like he'll get the guys to play, and it's tough. I feel like, the East is better. I should probably be looking under, but I still think this team is going to come to play every night. So gun in my head, I guess right now, I'll pick under, but I don't feel confident about it.
What you think, Rob? I really like what they did when they got Bogdanovic over there. It shows that they're actually trying to win now. You don't get that type of player from a Utah Jazz team, and you're trying to tank, right? I feel like last year was kind of the tanking to get two really good draft picks. They did that. I think this team is on the move here, Rob.
I wouldn't disagree. At all. And they're too deep now, guys, is formidable. As soon as you add a guy like Jaden Ivey and a guy like Bojan Bogdanovic and insert them into the starting lineup, those starters go to the second unit. And now you've got, guys like Killian Hayes at backup point and Diallo, who's an experienced guy at shooting guard, and Marvin Bagley III, who came over late season last year. I think if he's right, he's a huge help. Very versatile at 6'11". Jalen Duren, the big guy from Memphis, could be in line for some Rookie of the Year votes if he gets the minutes, because that dude is ultra talented and provides a rim protector and a scorer at the same time. He's not much of a shooter, but he's more of a scorer interior. Alec Burks, 3-pointers off the bench. I was thinking of this morning when I was reading up a little bit, guys. We know how Ben Simmons never wanted to practice shooting, and all I read this morning was Killian Hayes spent all off season practicing better 3-point percentage. Isaiah Stewart, who shot 52% from three last year, but very few, minimal amount. They want to play me at some stretch 4 and even maybe stretch 5, practicing my 3-point shooting. All these guys on Detroit grinding to get better shooting wise. And you've added one of the premier shooters in Bogdanovich,
Mhm.
and you've added a premier scorer in Jaden Ivey. His athletic ability and his speed, he's going to be a good player in the NBA. So I like what they've done. 23 wins last year, 29 you have to get to this year to cash. Is that right, Ski? Over 28 and a half. So,
Right.
Asking for 6 more. There is still some bottom of the barrel to the East, even though it's gotten much more competitive. It's a tough call. Can they get 7 more wins? I think they have the talent to if they stay healthy. It's got to be coached right. It's got to mesh right. But I do like what they've done, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm actually one I'd be looking towards over here. I think this could be a sleeper type of team over there in the East. I wouldn't actually be surprised to see them make the play-in tournament as well. Cade Cunningham, he's a really good player, kind of like a do it all type of guy, right? He can rebound, he can pass the ball, he can shoot, he can score if they need him to. So you add young guys with them as well, like Jaden Ivey and Duren. You've added some depth as well off the bench with guys like Burks and Noel, right? They were damn near starters for the Knicks over there. So I like what they're doing. It's kind of a mix of last year was a ton of young guys. Now they have older guys over there, Bogdanovich, Noel, Burks, to kind of show the guys the young ropes. Rob mentioned Marvin Bagley as well. He's actually – guys, when players go to teams like the Kings, you can't really see their full potential. You see what I'm saying? Now you probably see Marvin Bagley actually be a developed NBA player. Now he's with an actual NBA squad. So I'd be looking. I think the Pistons are going to surprise some people. I think 29 is a bit too low here in my opinion. So, man, I'm talking. I don't like betting futures, guys, because I don't like my money being tied up for that long. I would bet this over, guys. Like, in all honesty, I may put a few bucks on this over here. I think the Pistons are definitely getting over 29. Obviously, injuries can always happen, Ski, but this team looks like they're headed in the right direction, in my opinion. I like what they're doing over there, Ski. What you think, bro? Could you talk me off the over? I think 29 too low, man.
I don't disagree with anything you guys said. All I would ask is, or I will say is, and I guess ask at the same time, the kind of teams I look for to have success in the NBA, they got to do 3 things: shoot the 3 well, defend the 3 well, and rebound. And I just don't know how many of those things this team does well. Like everything you guys said, I like a couple of the players over there. I think Casey's a decent coach, but I don't think they do all those things well. So that's my reasoning.
Hey, the boys and got deeper over there. Guys like Sadiq Bey as well, man. Can't forget about him. They got Isaiah Stewart. He's a dog. And I was worried last night. I'm looking at this. I was like, who's their backup center going to be? I forgot that they had got Noel over there in that trade. He has to stay healthy, obviously, Rob.
Right.
But they got some depth now, man. I don't think they're a tanking team, in my opinion, Rob.
No, and I'll say this. Let's take it a step further, guys, because we're talking about season win total here where you actually have to win the game outright, right? But within 12, 13 days, we're going to be betting these games individually. And I just wonder how much odds makers who are busy with college football, busy with NFL football, how much they feel Detroit might be better, or will they just line them the same way? And a lot of what they do depends on the money that comes in, right? So if guys aren't really up on the Pistons, we may see them priced the same way they were last year. If that's the case, I'll just present you guys with this. Last 25 games of the season last year, Detroit went 19-6 against the spread. 19-6, their last 25. They closed strong. It's a really good springboard into the next year. This is for individual game betting, though. This isn't to say they're going to win these games outright, because if you look at their straight up record, it wasn't as good, but they were just undervalued the whole way. And I'm hoping that they do go under the radar here and a little bit undervalued to start with. Against the Eastern Conference, all told last year, they're 33-19, a 63.5% cover against the East last year. These are good numbers in our world, guys. We don't care about, the standings. The standings where we're concerned are the point spread standings. And Detroit crushed it at the end of last year, and they've only gotten better. So I think my best recommendation would be on an individual game basis. Once the season starts, you probably want to pick up the Pistons, especially as dogs. They're going to play all 48 minutes, and they have enough depth. They have enough depth to do so at every position. Nerlens Noel, who you referred to, Jay, that plantar fasciitis still bothering him. But I think having Duren there to give Noel some time to be fully healthy. Once he gets back, you got 3 legitimate centers on this team. So I don't know. I like him on an individual game basis, particularly as a dog, but they showed last year they can cover numbers.
Yeah, no, that's facts right there. We know that the Pacers over there in the division, they're probably like Ski alluded to, there might be about to change. They might be about to trade. I'm not sure what's going over there in Indiana, to be honest with you. That team I see being the last one in the division, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Pistons could kind of fight for the Bulls over there in the spot. Obviously, if their depth continues to be like this, especially at the guard position, the Pistons have more. They're better at the perimeter, in my opinion, than the Bulls. Obviously, they still got Levine and DeRozan. But with one of those two go out of the game or not 100%, or if it's an off night for DeRozan, I just feel like the Pistons are the type of team where you never know where it's going to come from, right? K can be that 25 point scorer night, or he can try to go for a triple double, and now they can kind of spread it out, man. So it'd be interesting to see. But let's just put it this way: I'm glad that people are kind of sleeping on the Pistons. I'm right there with Rob on that, my guys. That's it for me, Ski.
Last thing I'll say real quick, Jay.
Go ahead.
To what Rob's point was, as far as playing Detroit to start the season, I'm looking at their schedule. It's real easy. I mean, Orlando, New York, Indiana, Washington. We're going to see what type of team this is right off the bat. So if you're a believer, you might want to jump in. And Rob, I know you said, taking them at dog prices, but game 1, I think I see them laying 4 versus Orlando.
I like them too.
Yeah, well, Orlando's not going to get any respect either. Right?
I like what Orlando's doing with the 3 big lineup, but they need more guard depth. The guards aren't getting it done for Orlando, so they have the bigs. The Pistons should smash them on the first game of the season, guys. Don't be surprised. Pistons start out 4-0, Ski, and they're on the way to cashing that over on the wins. I see them being scrappy. I like what I saw from last year. Can't wait to have. The Piston socks are on right now, guys. I can't wait to be putting these socks on, to be finding buy spots for the Pistonians, my guys, the Detroit Pistons. It was nice to break that down with you guys, man. Now let's go over here to Golden State here. We're going to the streets of San Francisco. We got the Warriors here, season win total sitting at 52, guys. This Warriors team is deep, guys, I must say, man, especially for the years to come with Moody, Kuminga, and Wiseman. It's scary, especially when you still have Steph, Clay, Draymond, Jordan Poole as well. It's almost not fair, to be honest with you guys. What you thinking about this one, Ski? The win total is pretty high. Obviously, these are the defending champs. May not come out to start the season really, really fast. Or we'll go to you, Rob, on this one. How do you think the Warriors, do they have any type of hangover off of the NBA championship last year?
I feel like we should just devote this segment to Ski, because Golden State, they're his boys. What you said, Jay, it is scary with the youth. And that's what you get for being bad and getting high draft picks a couple of years while they were injured. And then everybody comes back. And now all of a sudden you've got all these lottery picks that are backups on your team. It's crazy to think. As good as in flashes, I see Kuminga. I think Kuminga is going to be really, really good in this league. We haven't even really gotten to see the best of James Wiseman yet. We probably will this year now that he's healthy. Moody from Arkansas, 3-point shooter. DiVincenzo, and that's a heck of a backup lineup. So there's not much when you're talking about the defending world champions, and they're basically intact. There's not much that you can say where they're concerned. They are what they are, right? We know what they are. So now what we have to do in our line of work is we have to react to where the lines are going to be put, where the totals are going to be put with this team. Are they going to be like we see in NFL, in college football, in every sport, the premier team, the LA Dodgers? They're just so enormously priced every single night. Can you get there with them? It's great that they're an awesome team, but that don't mean they're going to cash. I think there might be nights when Golden State, they're a year older, maybe with the young guys behind them, the starters get less minutes, and all of a sudden, you're 13.5-point favorite, winning by 10, winning by 9. That's probably going to be the case with Golden State this year. They have fresh legs. I know they're a really good defensive team, and in the NBA Finals, they got to turn it up a little bit defensively against Boston. But in a long 82-game grind, I just wonder if having the youth behind them that wants to run makes them an over team. I'll have to watch how they play, to tell you the truth, to start. But again, there's not a lot of stuff you can say about Golden State except for the fact that you want to see if they're overpriced. If they're overpriced, there's nothing wrong with betting against the best team in the league if they're giving too many points. So maybe some first half action comes in. I don't have in front of me what the season win total was, but I'm sure not going
to.
Yeah, I'm not going to say under. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not saying under with Golden State. I say over or nothing with Golden State season win total. Ski, real quick, while you got the numbers, how about to win the West and to win the title? Do you have those?
I'll grab it. And it did go up to 52.5. To win the division, I know they're 2-1. To win the conference, they are plus 280. And to win it all, they are plus 550.
You think they have a legit chance to repeat, Ski?
I do. I mean, they got the same core players that they've had. I mean, the star players for I don't know how many years now. And as far as if they're going to have like a championship hangover, I think you said that to start. I don't think so. Just because like these guys are getting up there. I know we talked about, or Rob talked about, you guys talked about how deep this team is and all the young guys they have. But Steph is 34. The main core is getting up there. Like the window for those guys is closing. So I feel like they're still hungry. Just to speak to their win total first, they got 53 last year. And that's what guys in and out of the lineup. Steph was hurt for a little bit. Draymond was out. Clay was out. I think they're I would say they're even deeper this year. And if they can be even healthier, I don't see how they, don't get to 53 again. So even though the number went up from 51.5 to 52.5, I would still take it over. And I would argue that Warriors to win the Pacific Division is the bet to make at 2-1 because it's a lot of stuff going on over there in Phoenix. I mean, DeAndre Ayton saying, he hasn't talked to Monty Williams. They over getting smacked by the 36ers. I don't know. The Warriors, I think it will be the more focused, hungry team rather than the Suns. That's just how I view it. So at $2, I think that's the play to make for Warriors' future.
That's a good point. I wouldn't sleep on the Clippers in that division, guys. Just to let you know, the Clippers are coming. They're pissed off, but it's just division talk. I would not sleep on the Clippers in that division. But yeah, for this one, obviously, be interesting to see if the Warriors can bring who's going to be the dogs right now. Otto Porter wasn't really the dog, but Gary Payton II was their dog on that team. Be interesting to see who can come off the bench and be that defensive stopper. We hadn't really seen the great flashes from Moody so far, but we have seen them from Kuminga and Wiseman, so they have depth. There, obviously, Draymond Green he's up there in age, guys. So I could definitely see plenty of games where he rests and try to give it to the young guys. They're gonna find games where they can rest their guys and still get the win. So it's for the win total, like you said, guys. I'm not looking towards taking the under. Personally, I'll be looking for spots where they're overvalued, laying double digits, and we know that they're probably just going to come in and, basically just win the game, not necessarily have to smash every single team, guys. I do look for teams to have a little bit of a championship hangover just because you went further in the season more than everyone else, right? So you look at in theory, the rest that the other teams have had, the time they can put in the offseason for more work. And I believe the Warriors just went over there to Japan I believe that was in Japan as well. So a lot of traveling, I always say when people win the championship, you're going to show that trophy off all over the place, man, in the offseason. But they've been there before, so they know what to do. But it's going to be interesting to see how those two key pieces left, right? I know Gary Payton wasn't a veteran. Otto Porter Jr. was. Now, Jordan Poole is still that guy behind Steph Curry, so that's scary. Klay Thompson, be interested to see if DiVincenzo can get back to the form that he was on the Bucks, knocking down those threes coming off the bench or starting there. So, obviously, Draymond Green is the huge question mark for me, guys. He's getting older and older. He wasn't good last year, in my opinion. He did just enough. Now even more tread on his tires. Ski, what do you think about the Draymond Green getting up there in age?
Yeah, I agree with that point. I mean, you could just see it when you watch him. He's not the same guy that he was in 2016, whatever, when it was always making it to the finals. But he still can do things that makes this team effective and helps them win. He still can play very good off of Steph Curry, and he's still a great passer. So I still think he brings a good amount to this team. I think when he's not out there on the floor, it's going to hurt them. So I still think they need him. What I'll say is for the Pistons win total, I talked about they don't really do the things I like. this is a team that does everything I like. They shoot three well, they defend the three well, they rebound. This is a team that is going to cover point spreads because that's how you do it. So I hear you guys saying you want to fade them when they become overvalued, and I get the spot as far as all this traveling in the first game. Sound like you want to take the Lakers, Jay. But
well, I wasn't saying it. I'll be looking to spots early season, fade them. Just real quick, Ski. We know when they get to the championship, the early games don't necessarily matter, right? It's a marathon, not a sprint. So it's not too big to come out of 10-0 or 10-2 for those guys. They know kind of get through the first couple months of the season. They know that they really need to get into the groove and ramp it up as they go into the playoffs, Rob. That's when the real season starts. They can literally be 5, 6, 7 seed. If you're clicking when you get to the playoffs, that's the only thing that matters. So that's where I come in and say that they may be a fade early season, Rob, where other teams are really gunning for them.
Yeah, and a team like that, Jay, you're absolutely right. 7th, it doesn't matter. They're not afraid of any venue. They're venue proof. They'll win on the road anywhere. So it really doesn't matter where they finish. I do agree with Ski that this is a veteran team that will remain hungry. I mean, there's a lot left. You could see there's a fire inside Steph Curry and inside Klay Thompson as well, because he missed so much time to win more championships. At this point, that's what they're about. They're about championships. They're not necessarily about covering big numbers every day. They're about winning a title. I love what Ski said because it triggered something in my head. Draymond is not the same player. You know who else ain't the same player? Kevon Looney. Is this guy for real in the playoffs? And he was garbage, total ass until the playoffs. And then all of a sudden in the playoffs, he's out rebounding everybody in sight. He's defending the rim like a madman. I mean, if that's the Kevon Looney that they're going forward with, then they have a legit, dare I say, borderline all-star, maybe even all-star center at that position, which only helps them. But I think, Jay, listening to you, you probably reinforce a couple of the thoughts that I had about this team on an everyday basis. First of all, we have to figure out what overvalued is when we're looking at the point spreads. What's overvalued? 12, 13, 14, 15? Where does the line get drawn? But for totals, when you mentioned Gary Payton II, that made me think, you know what? When I look at this reserve lineup, they're all better offensive players than they are defensive players. Every one of them. You know, Jordan Poole got roasted last year a lot defensively. He probably has worked on it, but he's still not a good defender. DiVincenzo, since the injury, is not the best of defenders anymore. Moody did play some pressure defense at Arkansas, but I don't know that he's the guy like Gary Payton II. So, to that point, and the fact that they like to run, I think Steve Kerr likes to let his players do what they do best. They may be an over team this year, especially if they go to maybe, 32 minutes for starters and let the young guys go just to preserve starters' bodies, So I think maybe over could be a way to look. Again, we have to bet numbers, not names on paper, but I do think that would be the way I'd start out looking. I'd start out looking to see if Golden State's overvalued spread-wise and if we can play them over the total in individual games.
I would just say one thing about that, though.
They do have Wiggins still a lockdown defender over there, but he has looked like I'll tell you this, guys. Wiggins in the Japan game is just preseason, but my guy looked like he had plenty of fun over the offseason. I'll just put it that
way. Good player.
The one thing I'll say is I'm not gonna say, the Warriors were a great defensive team last year, and all of that was not because of Gary Payton II. I get that there's some matchups where he's important. They may need him to, stay on one of the guards, but the Warriors play good team defense. And I think that's how they're going to, continue to have success.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. We're really just saying that Gary Payton is literally like a lockdown type defender and coming off the bench. He literally he's just one of those type of guys that's going to make everyone else turn up defensively as well.
I think
they're going to miss him. I think they're going to miss him more than we think, to be honest with you. Because like Rob said, these are now all offensive guys other than Andrew Wiggins. These are all guys that literally care more about the offensive side than the defensive side. But they're still going to cover some games, guys. this offensive league, right? So the league doesn't really care about defense, and you can't even play defense these days. You sniff on a player and it's a foul, guys. So there's definitely still gonna be plenty of spots where we're taking the Warriors as well. But early season, I may be looking to fade them against the point spread, my guys. Rob, anything else on this one? I know you're saying you wouldn't go under the win total. Any other thoughts on the Golden State Warriors, my brother?
Yeah, I would have to, you would have to play over with them. Like we say, the depth is just amazing on this team. And I think to Ski's point, yeah, Phoenix has some real issues in that division. I know you mentioned Clippers, and maybe they could be a thorn in the Golden State side, but Phoenix to me looks like a drop-off team, a descending type of team with, type of bicker. I actually saw that Monty Williams interview where he tried to kind of smooth over why he hasn't talked to his players, but you could tell that was all just a bunch of cover-up. So I don't know. To win the division sounds good to me. I wouldn't bet against Golden State to win everything either. I mean, at plus 550, you're talking about a 5.5 to 1 for them. They're the best team in the league on paper. So and we know that they're the best clutch team at this point, to the best of our knowledge. They're the best clutch team. So maybe you could make it work there as well before it goes down. God forbid they get off to a hot start. You're not seeing 550 anymore. So,
no, that's facts right there.
Take advantage of what you have.
Any other thoughts on the Warriors team 2022-2023 team preview or win total, my guy, Ski?
In my pocket, I have Warriors over 51.5 wins. I'm close to taking Warriors to win the division. I'm just, like we all talked about, not really a believer in the Suns to do it. And it's the same story for the Clippers. So as far as I'm concerned, I like the Warriors at 2-1 there. And I agree with Rob. I think at plus 550, or you can get anything higher than that, Warriors are still, they're still probably the best team in the NBA. They got the best player. So I like that too.
Yeah, see, I really thought that you were a Laker fan, my guy, but it's all good. I guess you could be a Laker/Warrior fan. I guess so, man. But it's all good, man. But that's the show for us, man. Hey, we talked about the Pistons, we talked about the Warriors, right, guys? Hey, that's my guy Rob Vino at Rob Vino Sports. That's my guy Ski Prophet at Ski Prophet. Go check these guys at Wager Talk. We will have a commercial, have a special promo code for the full season as well. Rob, you want to tell them a little bit more about it? And what you have going at Wager Talk, baseball, football, all that good stuff.
Yeah, actually, Jay, early week, but I do have a couple of best bets up and available already. One in college football, one in NFL football. So if you're interested in selection packages, just find your way over to wagertalk.com. All the stuff I have up each and every day is right there. The promo you're talking about, Jay, is a combo package for myself and Ski in our NBA season. Wager Talk currently filming a commercial for that. I know that there is there's going to be a special running tomorrow. Maybe it is even running today. I'm not positive, but I know it will be running tomorrow for myself and Ski. It's a birthday special because we both share the same birthday. So reduced price for the entire season. You probably want to get in on that. I would contact wagertalk.com now because you probably can get that today. So, yeah, a couple of NBA things. And, of course, all the video work that we do over there. I'll be involved in a lot of college football and NFL videos between now and the next 48 hours over there at wagertalk.com. Go over. If you're not a member, drop your email address. Get everything that we do for video content for free right there at wagertalk.com.
Thanks. What's up with you, Ski? You got anything for us to promote, my brother?
Well, yeah, I think I do think that one for the birthday is live. I'm pretty sure I saw it. So I think it's 3-day all access for both of us for the birthday special thing. So I do have 2 best bets I put up in the NFL already, 5% plays, and I have a free play. You can go check my page, and I gave you a couple reasons why I took it. So take advantage, and NBA. I just can't wait to rock with y'all, man.
Can't freaking wait for some NBA, man. NFL's been going well for us, man, I must say, but still can't wait for the NBA. That's every single day. There's no days where there's no NBA games. You gotta love it, my guys. You gotta love it, except for election day. There won't be NBA games that day, man. But we appreciate the time that you guys are giving us, man. Everybody in the chat for interacting with us as well. Go check out Wager Talk. Go follow my guy Rob on Twitter at Rob Vino Sports. You can follow me as well at J Money is Money. Follow Ski as well at Ski Profit. We're back on Thursday with 2 more team previews, my guys. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We out. Let's get this cash.